going all in. The Terrible Two, Together Again, and a really good memoir I just finished.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Well, hello there and welcome to a Wednesday. It is April 22nd, 2020, day 220 of Gotta Get on Ellen. A lot of 20s going on around here. 22, 2020, 220. Maybe it's some sort of sign. Maybe it's just a coincidence. We had one heck of a storm yesterday. These spring storms have been crazy this year. The wind, the hail. We don't see hail in these parts too often, but we saw hail yesterday, and it's not the first time this year. And I say, this isn't fair. We are hurricane territory. We are not supposed to have to worry about this stuff until fall. Now, we have to worry about spring storms and hurricanes in the fall. Something seems a little not right here. Come on. It seems that no matter where you live, there's always some sort of threat of some type of natural disaster. Like here in the Northeast, not even just the Northeast, along the East Coast and the Gulf Coast as well, have a big fear of hurricanes. And the season starts in June, but doesn't really churn up until September, October. In the middle of the country, you've got Tornado Alley. So they're always having to worry about tornadoes. Now, on the West Coast, they have earthquakes and wildfires. So it seems like no matter where you live, there is some sort of natural disaster that could happen at certain times of the year. So I'm feeling a little gypped right now because it's not our turn to worry. It's not supposed to be our turn yet. But it is what it is. And hopefully things will calm down soon. It is the 22nd of April, so the April showers bring May flowers, right? 8 more days. We shall see. Hopefully the weather will start getting a little bit warmer. No storms predicted for today, thank goodness, but a nice gusty wind. Oh, it's gotta love those gusty winds. They're my favorite. We'll see. We shall see. If the weather would just cooperate a little bit more during this quarantine, I think that we would all be feeling just a little bit better. You know, again, nothing we can really do about it, but if we could at least get outside our own house, I think we would feel so much better. A lot of the people in my neighborhood going on daily walks and such. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, too, about how I'm part of this, huge group text. I think there's like 10 or 11 people in it, and I learned how to silence it so that I don't get notifications, but yet I still get them. So I can scroll through at my leisure, whatever you want to say. And they're all doing all these projects, as are a lot of other people. Oh, today I'm tackling the cupboards. Today I'm doing the spice rack. Today I'm going to, heavy clean the bathroom. And then I'm like, I haven't done crap. I'm barely getting the regular cleaning in. I'm feeling a bit like a slacker. So I was saying, I was like, I'm not doing any of these big projects. I'm just getting out of bed every day and trying to get regular work done. So, it's getting time. It's getting close to that time for some spring cleaning anyway. And I do have to tell you that I did notice on, I have some magnets on the side of my fridge. And I noticed there was like a little dust ball on top of one of the magnets. So I kind of peeked up a little bit on the top of the fridge. Yeah, that needs a cleaning. That needs a cleaning bad. It's one of those spots that you don't always think about because, it's not eye level for me. I usually give Joe that job. I'm like, because he's tall. He doesn't even need a step ladder or anything. He could just wipe that bad boy off. But it looks like it's been so bad at this point that I'm going to need to be careful so the dust bunnies don't blow everywhere. Yeah, am I a little embarrassed? Yeah, a little bit. But I have a feeling I'm not the only person with dust bunnies on the top of their fridge. So if you want to judge me, go ahead. Not doing any big projects, but I might get that fridge done. The top of that fridge done soon. It's kind of bugging me a little bit. Did you hear the news yesterday? Joe had gotten a text alert. He gets, not a text alert, but just like an alert on his phone. He is signed up for alerts from ESPN. And he came home from work and he said, I just got an alert that Rob Gronkowski has been traded from the Patriots to Tampa Bay. And I kind of didn't put it together at first because it just seemed so weird because we know that Gronk had retired last year. He was even doing some work with Fox, which I don't think he was very good at it, by the way. But I thought maybe Joe and I even discussed it. I was like, well, that's weird. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just traded him his contract. Maybe his contract's not up yet, and they just traded it so somebody else can finish paying it off. I don't know. Well, not long after that, the news was on, and turns out he's coming out of retirement to go play with his buddy Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. Yeah. Whatever. Trying to resurrect the old Patriots in the new Tampa Bay Buccaneers area. We shall see how it goes. Tampa Bay has got to be thrilled. Wouldn't you be thrilled if you didn't have like a great team and a franchise quarterback? Like here in Philadelphia, we have Carson Wentz. We're behind him. We're counting on a good 10 years at least out of Carson Wentz. But if you didn't have a situation like that, and you were to get a Tom Brady, even in his 40s, that could potentially bring you a Super Bowl in the next year or 2 or 3. How exciting, right? Because as much as we all love to hate Tom Brady, you really have to admire his commitment, which we are talking about today, his competitiveness, and just the way that he is all in. He does the nutrition and he gets the workouts in and he does whatever it takes to be the best. And let's not forget that Tom Brady, I think, almost didn't even get drafted. Like, he was not considered a good player when he entered the NFL. He is the epitome of potential. Working your potential, practice, getting better, doing what it takes. So, like I said, we all love to hate Tom Brady, but you have to admire him. At least I do. You have to admire that somewhat, right? Speaking of football, the NFL draft starts tomorrow. The virtual draft is on. I don't get into the draft too much because I don't really watch college football, so it's not as exciting for me. I know it's very exciting for those who follow college ball. You want to see where your favorite players from your favorite colleges end up in the NFL. And, it's always cool for people who don't necessarily watch college ball to see what kind of players you're going to get on your favorite NFL team. So that starts tomorrow night. Just a little heads up there if you are not paying attention. I just finished a very, very interesting memoir, and it was called The Sound of Gravel. Very, very interesting. It was a book about a girl who grew up in a polygamous family, and they spent most of their time in Mexico, but came back and forth between Mexico and the U.S. Throughout the first 10, 15 years of her life. And I've got to tell you, man, oh man, I thought I had a rough upbringing. No way, Jose. I had it made in the shade. I don't know what is going on with these memoirs between this and Educated. If you read Educated, what is going on with the rest of the world? Oh, just craziness. Just complete and total craziness. But this is why I love to read, because it expands my horizons. It exposes me to worlds and different ways of life that I would never come across, and gives me a whole new perspective. Yeah, I had it pretty darn good growing up. Was I the happiest kid? Nah, not really. But man, compared to these people, whew, I really should never complain again. I mean, I'm gonna, but they definitely had it way worse than me. So like I said, it's called The Sound of Gravel. And it's not a pleasant read, I'll give you that, but it stays with you. And I like books like that. I like books that stay with you. They're not necessarily something that, it's riveting. I certainly kept going back for more. So it was entertaining in the way that I just wanted to know what happened next. But I don't know if enjoyable is the right word. It wasn't not enjoyable because I looked forward to getting back to the story every time I put the book down. But I was not actually enjoying the story I was reading. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, very eye-opening. Just kind of makes you think about your own life and how hard you thought you had it, and maybe you were a little wrong. But I love discovering different ways of life and the ways that other people live. Just as a little bit of perspective, and just as a way to kind of open up your mind a little bit. You know, we all grow up in this world that's directly around us, and we really have nothing else to compare it to. And this is a great way to get some of those comparisons in. We are talking about fall versus spring in today's topic. Very simple. Do you prefer spring or do you prefer fall? Easy peasy, right? I'm going to have to say that fall edged out spring by maybe 60-40, maybe even 65-35. A little more for fall than there was for spring. Now, Jim voted for spring. He says everything is new again. That is nice. I do like that. Now, Joe says fall. The ocean is at its warmest and the leaves are pretty. Sandra cheating a little bit. Green of spring, the warmth of fall. Marcy says it smells better. Fall. It smells better. Adele says fall. No contest. Kate says, I hate to say it because I am a summer girl, but I'm going with fall. Spring is way too iffy. Carolyn says, choices. Spring has a slight edge because that means summer is coming. I get it. Yes, I do. And I feel the same way. Like, I love spring for the fact that we've got the whole summer ahead of us. But as somebody mentioned, it's just too iffy, especially where I live. Like, I'm on the water, and that makes it colder than most places because the water's still really cold. And actually, a friend of mine, were talking about that yesterday. The water in the bay doesn't really start getting warm, like really warm, until like July. Like June, you can probably, get away with, a kayak or a stand-up paddleboard or something. But if you want to swim or sit in the water, you're going to be waiting until July. It takes a while to warm that water up. And it's the same with the ocean. And that's why that's why Joe had mentioned that the ocean is at its warmest. The only thing I don't like about fall is I start to get depressed because winter is coming, right? But I definitely prefer fall in this area over spring, just for the fact of the weather is much warmer. I don't know if you've ever spent some time at the Jersey Shore in the fall. It is glorious. September and October are my favorite